welcome back to the week 2 of the six-week marathon that is the emotional juggernaut of season 8 of Game of Thrones on Bike Entertainment's BykeWatch.
Yep.
I am your host, Pete Holzneck.
Eric.
Yooni.
And that episode, I know I started this off last week like this, but another, I'll give them credit. There's still not those hour and a half episodes that we were told we were going to get every episode.
No, we knew they weren't going to be every episode, though.
I was holding out hope until they told us it wasn't.
I do like that this was the last calm before the storm, though, because if it started with the battle against the Night King starting and then it cuts
that
off,
would have been cool, actually. I would have been game for that.
It was cool, but I would personally be mad because I'd rather see the full thing from start to finish next week onwards.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you mean in this episode?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, as Yooni was just saying, quick roundup of what we got. Arya, causing a lot of Google searches right now.
He's not wrong.
I'm not wrong, and it's just weird because we were thinking, wait, how old is she again?
Just the way you phrased that is what got us right now.
It's accurate, but Jon and Bran had their scene. Not Jon and Bran. Excuse me. Jon and Dany had their scene, for which there's only one appropriate reaction to. You know nothing, Jon Snow. Jaime is what I really meant there, but I went with that anyway. Jaime had his scenes with everybody. It was a very Jaime-centric episode, and none of those scenes felt rushed, which was really great. We had the scene in front of the Court of Winterfell that we saw in the preview of last week. While we were watching, I was like, I really hope this isn't that scene, because then it would feel rushed, but as its own separate scene, I thought it wasn't rushed. What do you guys think? In general, all of the scenes with Jaime being up in the north now.
They seem fine. They don't seem too rushed. They don't seem too long.
Yeah.
This is a slow-paced episode done right compared to last week, which honestly, not gonna lie, I checked my phone a couple times last week just because, how long is this gonna go on for?
I did not have that, but I've also been watching since the pilot in 2011, so this is my religion. But
yeah.
Anywho, to actually start off our wonderful discussions, we will bring up one of the greatest characters in Game of Thrones. Anybody can fight me on this, I don't care. Tormund Giantsbane, being the thirsty man he is, getting his Brienne, or trying to, I should say at least, and that giant's milk scene, that was wonderful.
He's sucking on them giant titties.
That's what he did say?
He did say that's how he got his strength.
Yep.
What do you guys think of those scenes with Tormund?
Oh, he was great.
Yeah. I do, if he's not there, it's just a grim thing the whole time. So I do enjoy that he brought humor into it.
Pretty much every time you laugh, it's him.
Yeah. And that was the one, I think that's what made his scenes even better, was that this was such a grief-stricken episode.
Yeah.
As you put in Yooni, the calm before the storm. So kind of inserting him there was
just
light in the moon made everything nice.
But it also at the same time made the circumstances more dire because the storm is quite literally at their doorstep.
So I mean, I thought that was great. Anytime Tormund is there, and even when he came back to Winterfell, we see Jon. He's like, "Ah, Sam!" And then it was just with Tormund, and it was just I wasn't expecting that, but I'm happy I got that, because that's what I feel like that statement in general is just how we always feel anytime it involves Tormund.
Yeah.
Didn't need it. Happy we got it.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's at least my thoughts on Tormund. You guys have anything else to add to that? No?
Nope.
Please,
Sorry,
go ahead.
No. I had to just process it together. I also kind of like how it's. I mean the whole thing about if we don't all fight together, we're dying, and the thing is there obviously, but symbolically, when they're all gathered in front of the fire, he's essentially the last wildling, or at least the last proof that they existed. We've got a Lannister, Davos, we got Brienne, Podrick, all each representing, Kingsland.
Excuse me, his name is not Podrick. It is the most magnificent, the largest sword in the world.
The largest sword in the world. Either way, all representing the common man, a woman, King's Landing, the former richest house in the kingdom. So it's like, how far have we fallen? And here's to hoping we survive. And if not, then, well, here's to our last drink.
And also a Greek folk band.
Though, to be fair, though, I really like that song.
Yeah, no, that song that Patrick was singing was actually very... It fit very well with the tone of the episode, the grief-stricken episode and all that, so I enjoyed that. Though, I will be honest, I was really hoping it was going to be Tormund singing, because I'm here for that. It'd be another thing we didn't need, but we're happy we got, because I don't know, I thought that'd be pretty legendary.
You gotta admit, though, his reaction to that situation was great. He's like,
The growl of, no, I want more giant milk. Giant's milk. But that's me.
Like we said during the episode, he's just Ed.
He is our buddy Ed. We actually texted our buddy Ed.
If Game of Thrones was like played by us, Ed would be Tormund.
We actually got a message back from Ed being like, I'm totally okay with that. Which, at least for me, brought a big laughter because as Yooni, as he came up with it, we were just like, yeah. Because it's just, our buddy Ed just brings all that stuff and we're like, okay, glad we got that. But another thing I want to point out in this episode that we talked about off camera last week, that is especially interesting to Eric and I, is the new updated title sequence.
Right.
Holy heck! I loved them.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say to that because I want them to talk.
Yeah, they're great. They really upped their game. I wonder if it's like, technically speaking, because I like the technical like aspect of like motion graphics and VFX. I feel like they used a. Were you calling me a nerd?
No, what?
He didn't say anything.
I saw your mouth move. I know what you did. Anyway, he probably. Yeah. Hey.
Please continue.
But yeah, they really stepped up their game with the like visuals of these title sequences.
Yeah, definitely.
Like they look like really rendered well, like almost ultra realistic for what they are.
Yeah.
Like I wonder what kind of render engine they used, like to do the animation and to do the final like image processing. If they use a really advanced one.
Like I said, Eric's a VFX and motion graphics guy. I'm more of a quote-unquote traditional art thing. I like to draw and, I like to animate, things like that. Even though I am, like, more or less going to collaborate with him soon for 3D animation and whatnot. But I do... One thing I like about this current sequence more than the last seasons was the last seasons, not that they were bad, but their opening sequences were kind of more like... You know how, like, sometimes you see an ad for, like, visit this country? It was kind of like that. And this sequence just kind of actually takes you in. We go to the basement of King's Landing with Balerian's skull. We see the throne room and the court of Winterfell. That's definitely something for some reason it didn't click with me last week, but now it did, and I actually like it a lot more now.
I think because I was screaming too much last time, being like the whole time.
I believe it.
Enough with that. Let's talk about the dude that probably had the most screen time in this episode, Jaime Lannister. So we got a lot of payoff from Jaime. Like the end of last episode, we saw he's finally there. This episode, they did not wait at all. First scene, boom, right into Jaime in the Court of Winterfell, facing off with Dany, facing off with Sansa, facing off with Bran as well, who pulled another three-eyed raven moment by saying the only thing that.
No, the things I do for love.
Yeah, saying the one thing that Jaime said before, and knowing that Jaime's the only person that could possibly know that. But I feel like I'm surprised that Jaime would even remember that.
Well,
pretty traumatic.
But it's also like he's one of the kids of the major lords. Like I feel like he kind of has to remember.
But I'll let you guys kind of do the breakdown for the whole Jaime scenes. What did you guys think about it? Rushed, not rushed, and yeah,
I like the tension scenes with Bran that they had between them, because like the things you do for love, Bran pointed out, I was like, no longer Bran and or no longer Brandon Stark. He's just Bran. He's a three-eyed raven. Trying to collect my thoughts, but just like that tension being like, ooh, throw shade.
So much shade. That's probably the one good thing we get from Weirdo Bran is the amount of shade he throws. But Yooni?
I do kind of like how he's not like, I'm sorry for everything I did. It's like, I did it and I would do it again, but like it or not, it's in the past and one more person can't hurt. Come on. Like, because if they just said I'm sorry, that pretty much every show with a redeemed villain character has done that, so it's like,
yeah. And also I like that what you just said. He's like, I made these mistakes. I've now grown from it, which is what we kind of got from that scene with Bran, where I don't want to say he kind of thanked Jaime, but he also kind of did, in the sense he was like, if you hadn't thrown me out of there, I wouldn't have become the Three-Eyed Raven. You wouldn't have actually had all your redemption as a character. Like, am I the only one that saw that kind of coming off as like a thank you? And it was is he thanking him?
But at the same time, if you didn't push me, my family would still be alive. So you know.
It was weird in that sense. But
well, that's why it's a whole tension scene.
Yeah, but I did enjoy that he was just like, hey, I did this crap. I've grown from it. My family still hates you. Well, my sister/lover still hates you. But I'm not here as Jaime Lannister. I'm here as Jaime. No name. Like, because it's like, I'm a man of my word. I said I would come up here. Even though my sister has screwed you, I'm still an honorable man. Yeah. Which is when we got, like, the backing of Brienne and all of that. Tyrion trying again. What do you guys think of this like tension that's going on between Tyrion and Dany?
I want to say she'll kind of put it aside for the time being, just because, well, a force of nature that can somehow be killed is right there.
Yeah.
I won't be surprised if he does like the heroic act of like if Dany's in action for some reason, or like even if she's not like directly in action but she gets affected, like someone comes after her, that he'll do like a quick like savior moment, and that will gain trust.
Man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, presuming we have no idea anybody technically can die, but presuming that both Dany and Tyrion make it out of this, without either of them doing it, or without Tyrion doing anything heroic, do we still think she'd stick with him going down to King's Landing, or do you think she would pull a switcheroo?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Like, even with... Can I go?
Yeah.
Even with all that tension, she still kind of realizes, like, because, well, Lord Friendzone pointed it out, every person has a weakness. For him, as smart as he is, he still has some hope and, love for his family. So, and even as he admits, he was tricked by his sister, who's been, a prick to him his whole life, but still family. So I think, like it or not, she kind of has to keep him around for his intelligence, but will kind of...
But do you think she'll still keep him as Hand of the King, though? Or Hand of the Queen, excuse me.
I think so. She'll just kind of make sure he is the last Lannister, so there's nothing to, like... So he doesn't have that weakness anymore, kind of.
Are you predicting she would off Jaime?
I don't necessarily think she'll off him, but more like... Essentially do whatever is equivalent of sending him to the wall. Or just make sure he...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So keep him alive, but there's no way Tyrion can be Tyrion's weakness anymore, something like that.
Gotcha. Fair. And going from that, we go to what is hopefully breaking the internet last night and into today. Arya Stark going for it.
Oh boy. Well,
I was getting that tension since the start of the season, man.
Well, Robert Baratheon got his wish. The houses were joined.
More so than you expect.
Ha!
But yeah, no, did either of you guys actually expect to see I mean, I don't know if I really call it an actual sex scene.
I was expecting them to kiss, but not go for sex.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think I was expecting I was expecting there to be hot tension. I didn't know how far it was going to go. Like,
Yeah.
how far, how quickly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was their last night, so
I
it does
also-
make sense.
I also do appreciate that it's not like they're genuinely in love. It's just more like,
It's our last night.
Yeah,
and
so
I wanna
might
know
as
what
well-
it's like
yeah.
to have
It's like,
sex.
YOLO, bitch!
Exactly.
Well-
Exactly what he just said. Anyway, back to another comedic moment. Jon Stark. You know nothing, Jon Snow. I just called him Jon Stark.
You're a moron.
to be fair,
I'm Jon Snow now, apparently. I know nothing.
You
But-
never knew.
to be fair, he did.
Fair.
To be fair, he did think that was his name this whole time.
Well, yeah.
No, yeah.
Until, like, the past couple days.
Yeah.
Well, he thought his name was Jon Snow, not Jon Stark.
Well, if he ever got.
Well,
the joke.
okay, yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I know what you
But,
mean now.
but this way, he was never gone
was-
by name Stark.
Yeah.
He
but
was always
a-
Snow.
Well, technically, he still is a Stark.
He's a Stark by family.
Yeah, because his mother was a Stark, so
Yeah.
therefore he is still technically
Yeah, but not
a
by name.
Stark.
He's
Not
also
by name.
yeah the last. He's also the last person that can inherit Winterfell with that logic, considering all of Ned's kids would be before him.
So yeah, John, being John, but also pretty much being a guy,
Yeah.
picked the worst possible time to tell Danny that his name is Aegon Targaryen.
Well, I mean, the way I look at it, though, is the same reason that Arya did what she did. It's the
Fair.
fact that it's the last night, in
Fair.
case that he dies or she dies,
I mean, we have
best to tell now and
Yeah.
not wait on it and
You're
risk
more,
it.
you're more like Cersei than you thought, my lady.
So let's dig into that.
Literally, it's the last time that they're gonna see each other. That's why they went off. Oh my God, I can't speak it right now. Fuck.
That's why they. I think I know what you're saying. Basically, what he's trying to say is that's why they went off into the crypts, went off telling what's going on and such like that.
Yeah, like, you know, her response to what John said literally was just, like, very quick. Like, the fact that once, you know, the horns went off, it was like, okay, fuck this, we'll deal with this later. Let's go work with each other to fight
Yeah.
the situation.
So, I'll ask this question. We touched upon it last week,
Mhm.
but do you still? I'm gonna put a new spin on it. Do you think Danny will accept John as he is, in the sense of like not causing problems, or do you think it'll have to be John that steps down so that she can be happy and that everybody essentially can be happy? Predicting that presuming that they all live, the Targaryens take over the throne.
I want to say Jon has to step down because, like,
Do you think he'll? I guess the question is, what do you think is more likely to happen? Danny being kind of like, okay, we can kind of just co-rule, or John stepping aside, being like, I will just be your advisor / husband.
I say advisor husband.
Yeah,
like-
because he never even wanted to be king of the north anyway, so...
There's also
What makes you think he wants to rule
Yeah.
the Seven Kingdoms?
there's also the fact that throughout her dynamic with Sansa, it's clear she's not giving up on the power, so it's highly doubtful.
Finally, let's get to the good stuff. Episode 3. Shit is going down.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How do you guys think we'll get the resolution in episode 3, or do you think it'll spill over to 4?
I want to say 4.
Probably into 4.
So then, what do you think will happen in 5 and 6, or do you think, let me rephrase. Do you think it will be all of 4, or only a part of 4, and then the rest of 4 is kind of like Fallout / moving down to King's Landing?
The way I would,
I think episode 5 is
Go
going to be
first.
King's Landing, to be totally honest.
the way I see it is, assuming like there's no cuts to King's Landing or whatsoever. 3, 4, 5, and 6 will just all be the battle and like it's Fallout, and 7 and 8 or like and like the ending.
There's only
It's
6.
only 6 episodes.
Was it? I thought it was 8.
No.
it's 6.
Okay, 6. Sorry. Then I guess 3 and 4 will just be the battle with
Mhm.
assuming there's no cuts to King's Landing.
I think there'll have to be some, though.
Yeah.
There'll be some kind
yeah.
of minor cuts with some kind of
Yeah.
progressing that
Yeah.
line with the Golden Company,
Yeah.
because they can't just then be like, oh, the North's now done. Oh, hey, remember us?
Yeah.
Like, there has to be,
Yeah.
I think there'll have to be some kind
Yeah.
of setup.
And 5 and 6 will be the quote unquote real final battle.
Interesting.
But that said, I want to say like there will probably be something about the Night King that's more than just I want to take over because I want to. Because
what do you mean? Like, elaborate on that.
remember how Brand said he wants this to be an endless night?
Yeah.
And remember how he was the first man and the first White Walker?
Yeah.
So, like, is he just trying to get vengeance on the living for turning him into something he never wanted to?
No, I don't think that's at all what he's doing, to be honest.
Okay.
At least personally, I think he's just trying to make an endless night, turn everybody into White Walkers. Well, I guess that is kind of vengeance, too.
So, like, yeah.
But I don't think that's his main motive.
Yeah.
It's just more of him just taking over.
So, because it seems like the Night King has a motivation, and that's more than just I want to take over.
Yeah, yeah.
Because what's his real deal with whatever the Three-Eyed Ravens were to him? Because it's also like, because for stories like this, there's always like a connection to the main villain with the heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like
there does have to be probably more to him than meets the Raven's eye, so to speak.
But so like so it's like, is Brand the one that's destined to defeat him, as the show keeps saying, or is Jon gonna be the one to defeat him?
I think it's going to be Samwell Tarly.
The real goat of Game of Thrones.
And on that note, any final thoughts, boys?
I do like the scene where it's like just him, Sam, and Ed at the top, where it's like, because you remember at the start of the season they were just a whole group of bros like us, and then
The series, you mean?
yeah,
You said season.
I said my bad.
It's all good.
But yeah, and now it's just the three of them. It's like, well, it's
The
fine.
only three left.
So it's like the last three of their group and the last three crows.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, it was a fun ride.
Yeah, it was. You got anything, bud?
Nope.
You ready to go to bed?
Yes.
Same. Well, I got to drive back first, but yeah.
Alright, well, on that note, he's going to go to bed. He's going to go drive. I'm going to go edit this. Thanks again for watching this special edition of BykeWatch, our live reaction to episode 802 of Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
If you enjoyed this and have lasted this long, thank you so very much. And if you could, please go subscribe to the channel. These little specials are nothing compared to what else we have planned.
Mm-hmm.
More more beverage corner, more game breaks, and a whole lot more of this. It's gonna be a very fun summer coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So please subscribe. If you like this video, please give us a like. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down, and please comment what you didn't like about it, what you want to see instead, so that we know how to tailor this.
But also be constructive about it. Don't just say I didn't like it because X. Just say like I didn't like it because of X, and I think it would have been better if it was done like this kind of thing.
Or you just say why you didn't like it. That works too.
Yeah.
And if you're so inclined, please hit that bell so that you
Mm-hmm.
receive updates anytime we put out videos. Once again, I'm Pete.
Eric.
Yooni?
See you next time.
Later.